What was one
Yeah.
quality you saw in him that you wanted to emulate or mimic for you to
Yeah.
be successful?
He was really passionate about what he did. Like he cared a lot about like what he did and all that stuff. Like it didn't
Hmm.
matter if the house made like very little money or was like the best deal in the world and you could go make $1 million on it. Like he cared about
Yeah.
every deal. And I felt
Okay.
like that passion like came through. And I also felt like one of the other qualities that I really liked about him was he always wanted everyone to win. Even
Okay.
though he
Oh,
was
that's great.
very like
Yeah.
aggressive and like very like kind of like pushing, he still wanted everyone to win. And that was
Okay.
one of the things that I thought was interesting because even when you're at that level, you're thinking, oh, like he could probably go way faster
Hmm.
with just probably doing these things himself. But I realized how important a team was to him. And if he
Okay.
didn't have that team, him by himself obviously was nothing.
Right.
So even though he has all the resources and stuff like that, it still would be hard without the team.
Of course.
So, yeah.
So I like that perspective. Good question. And the other side of it is the apprentice style,
Yeah,
working
definitely.
underneath someone. You don't see that offered a lot, or you know what I mean? Like, I'm glad that you did
Yeah.
that. It beats the learning curve. Like,
Oh,
we all had
100%.
mentors in
Yeah.
some way. So if you're new to any part of real estate, go work for someone, man. The two people you worked for, the experience you got, that's why you're so successful now. It's like part of it.
Oh,
And
big
it's-
time.
it's
I
like,
100%.
go work for someone.
Yeah. I mean, if it wasn't for that, especially because he put me in the same room with him, he could have just
Yeah.
put me in a different room and just was like, hey, just do this. And like,
Yeah.
I could have clocked in
Right.
like that. But I kept asking really good questions too to him and trying to pick his brain and trying to understand stuff because that's like the big thing. He was very open about sharing things and talking about what was working and what was not and different marketing pieces that we could implement that would work or things that he would think about as an investor that he would like to see if he was getting pitched a deal.
That's one of the biggest mistakes that newer investors or inspiring investors do is they're afraid to ask those questions, right?
Oh, yeah.
You was sitting right there in the room with him and it was like, hey, how did you come up with this ARV, or why did you decide to put this number with this property? It's always good to ask those questions, even if they may seem like dumb questions to you.
Yeah.
It's always good to ask those questions. So, man, kudos to you for really doing that because not everybody's willing to do that because you have to have a level of humility and have to have a level of
Just make it up.
just
Just make up the word, Market.
no, I'm not making up the word. I'm trying to think of the word. that
Yeah,
was
I definitely
looking
did
for.
ask a lot of dumb questions, though. That's for
Uh-huh.
sure. And I just went out there and just was like, hey, I think this might work. Putting it into a position like, what are your thoughts on this? Like, I want your opinion.